Hi guys! Today we're here with Mark, who is a property investor and also our agent, and he's gonna bring us to do some viewings of condos. And Sean and I are super excited because we are very swaku. We have not done this before.
Along the ride, we will ask you a lot of stupid questions like because this is our first time, so we don't even know what are we gonna do, what's next.
Yeah.
So you need to guide us along.
Sure.
Can?
This is going to be like a informative Grab ride. So
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
rate 6.5 stars.
Okay, we are going to sell our house,
Yeah.
and then we're going to buy, right? So how's the process going to be like? Like how long do we have to wait in between?
Selling a flat, right, you need at least about 3 months processing time. That's a bare minimum.
3 months.
3 months,
Okay.
yeah. So then after that's just the selling of the house. Then you want to talk about how long it takes for you to collect the keys of your new house. Right? So of course, if you are buying a resale, then the processing time is also about 3 months. Right?
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay,
if you
okay.
time it together, these 3 months can overlap one. That means what I'm trying to say is that your total waiting time to go to your new house is 3 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
that means if you can sell ASAP and you can buy
ASAP, yes.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Because initially when we thought about this, right, we were thinking like, oh no, what about our cats? Where are we going to shift our cats to? Like, should we find a place to rent or should we move to like our family place to stay first?
Yeah.
So there's a chance that we can just go over.
Yes, there's a chance. So things must align very nicely, and that's what we call the timeline planning in our industry. So there are, of course, many times where things don't match so nicely. So then that's when there is a bit of waiting time. And sometimes what we call in the market, we call this extension. So certain sellers would want to stay longer than 3 months. After the processing time, they still want to stay in the house.
What for?
Just now, if you want a processing time of 3 months, you need to sell and buy ASAP. Right? You need to buy ASAP after you sell. Not everybody is ready to do that. So I want to sell first, and I want to go shopping around. I want to take my own sweet time to shop around. Then I want to sell first, but continue to stay in my house. Right?
Okay.
So if you're buying that person's house, you got to wait for him.
Oh, okay. That means like we sign already, but I still need to wait 3 months later, then I can take the key.
Yeah, so from the time you sign to buy his house, right? Let's say he asks for an extension of 3 months. You got a 3 months processing time, you also have a 3 months extension, you got to wait about 6 months before able to take his keys.
So normally buyers wouldn't.
Partly because of the current rules with ABSD, right? There are a lot of people asking for extension. A lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So for our case,
For your case, as in like for your case to sell. For your case to sell, if you don't need the extension, then don't need.
will it become more attractive like in the market? Like
Oh yes. Yes. So extension is something that benefits the seller, right? Because you get to stay longer. So if you find that it's easier to have extension to plan your movement of your cats, that kind of thing, then yeah, you should consider extension. But when it comes to likability, like do people like extension? I think in the market, people, as in buyers, right, prefer having no extension houses.
They can move in earlier lah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see, the point of buying a resale property, right, is that you want to get it ASAP, right? If I'm able to wait, I'll go and buy a new launch, I'll buy a BTO, I'm going to wait, right?
Yeah.
The fact that I'm looking for a resale because I want it ASAP. So usually in the market, if a house that has no extension, right, it will really attract a lot more buyers. And when more buyers come, you have a better chance of securing a better price.
Okay, because I keep looking at the properties in like Property Guru, 99 Co, and even Prop Edge.
Yeah.
So like, I copy and paste for you the links, right? Is that normally what other like your clients or customer does?
Yeah, it's quite common, pretty common. There are some clients who already have something in mind, so they'll copy and paste, and then we'll do the hard work of arranging for viewing lah. And of course, we'll accompany the buyer down to really look at the condition of the house.
And normally they sit in the car.
Yeah.
So you drive them around like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great, right? This one.
What if your client wants to see like a lot of property then?
We will try to make it very productive. So let's say we have a 3-4 hour window, right? We'll try to see condos in the same region. So we'll really clock a lot of units during that 3-4 hour window. If one's in the east, one in the west, we can still try, but if not, we separate days.
Is it waste of time? Like sometimes, do you find it waste of time? Like, voila, one whole day go with you, then you say you don't want any of the property.
I don't think it's a waste of time. First of all, right, as an investor myself, I like this part. I like to go on the ground and find out for properties for myself. Alright? Because you see, if I give you an XYZ condo, right, do you know about the condition? Do you know what's the trends there, what's the transaction, what's the value there, you don't know, right? So you have to really go to the ground and see for yourself. And then this is my learning journey as well. So I don't see it as a waste of time. Okay. But secondly, right, I think most importantly is when the buyers are able to see for themselves, right? It gives them a clearer idea of what they want or what they don't want. Right? I just want to share with you, this is very simple. Like, if I gave you the most, let's say we talk about durian, Mao Shan Wang is like the best durian, right? For example, right? I can tell you that this Mao Shan Wang is the best durian in Singapore, right? Or best in the world for that matter. But you will not understand it's the best in the world, right? Until you have tried lousier durians, right? So sometimes, right, we need this kind of comparison, right, for you to really understand, or for the buyer to understand, right, what is good, what is not good.
Then as an investor yourself, right, how long does it take for you to choose a unit that, you feel like you want to invest in and you want to buy?
So recently I bought Lentor Mansion. Alright, that took me damn long to choose. So there are many options, there are many pros and cons, and I suffer from this thing called analysis paralysis. So I think too much sometimes. But the entire journey, sometimes you look at your budget, you look at your preferences, your lifestyle, everything, right? And so the whole journey took me close to half a year.
Wow.
Yeah, half a year. Yeah, because there were changes in budget along the way also.
So would you recommend, like, for people like looking for properties, right? Hunt for properties as early as possible. Get some ideas.
Yeah, for sure. You before you commit to selling, right, you definitely need to have an idea of what you're going into next. You don't sell for the sake of selling, right? You need to know, after this selling move, I'm looking forward to something better, and then what's that better?
So personally, you have invested in how many properties, like transacted by yourself?
Oh, for myself? So I've done transaction is 10. So some bought, some sold. So as of now, I still have 6 on my portfolio.
Oh my god. And how old are you?
Yeah, good question. I'm turning 34 this year.
6 properties, bro.
At what age do you start? Like, you started doing all this?
At what age? I started at 29. So 29 was a very, very interesting year. Really got stuck in like work, felt that there was no progress in my life, that kind of thing. Then came across property investing as a way to get out of the difficulties and troubles that I was facing. Yeah, so then once I started with property investing, you tasted some success, then you never look back already.
I got one question. Like, would you compare, like, when you started at your 29, right? Like, for people that start now in 2024, right? Is there more challenges, or the opportunities is like still the same? Like for us?
I would say it's a little bit more challenging actually, to be honest. It's a little bit more challenging. Why? Recently I just been speaking to a friend, and she's trying to get started as well, right? But because we have gone through COVID and the prices have appreciated by a lot, it's so much harder for her to get started. Like, for example, when I started, I bought my new launch condo for, it was a 1-bedroom, right? I bought it for 784k, 784.
Oh.
New
launch some more, yeah. Do you know that today resale, right? Easy, not even new, resale, you need to look at least 700k. And then for this friend, she actually has a budget of lower than 700. It's very difficult to find something good, something investable for her. Getting started is better than not getting started at all.
True. Yeah, so Mark started his property journey at age 29, right? I haven't even started saving money at age 29.
You started at 30.
Oh yeah, if you all wonder, right, what is this band on my hand, right? It's actually called this C-band. I have very, very bad motion sickness. And we bought this from where? Watson's, right? Oh, you just put this on 2 of your hand, right? And then there's this acupuncture thingy that presses along your, your wrist area, right? You don't feel any motion sickness at all. Just put it on before your ride. Wow, very, very good. So far, we viewed a few units already.
Yeah.
What would you recommend client to ask questions like when they see the unit? Like, what are the top few questions that people should ask? Should we ask about neighbors? Is it an appropriate question to ask about neighbors?
It's appropriate, I think it's appropriate. You want to understand the whole environment. But I think for condos, this question happens with HDB very often. Less often with condos.
Yeah, how about what are the most common questions that a lot of people that are keen, a lot of buyers ask?
Usually it's the renovations they have done. What changes have they done? And then how's the upkeep of the area? How convenient, because the owners know where they can go for shopping and buy their amenities and stuff, right? So usually they ask this where do they go?
We never ask any of these questions. MCSC is one thing that we ask. Right. Then
how much is the maintenance fee, right?
Yeah.
Usually I ask on behalf also. You want to know whether the sellers want to have extension or not.
Oh.
So far, the units we've seen, they say it's negotiable based on the price, right? You can also ask what's the last offer. Just the last offer is a bit more sensitive. Usually, we don't want to ask in front of the sellers.
But most of the time when we view, will the seller most of the time be there?
I think most of the time, yes. Most of the time, sellers will be there.
I think it's helpful to come and see because like when we see on Property Guru, right,
Yeah.
the photos, right, you cannot really get the feel of like the distance where
Yeah.
you see, sometimes they use 0.5.
Yeah.
So it looks like,
exactly.
wow, the house very big. Then when you go in, it's like, maybe not
Yeah.
that big.
Yeah.
Right, and also the upkeep really where you see the facilities and all the like, okay, the maintenance, the paint and everything,
Yeah.
suddenly it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it must align a bit of expectations because when we
Right.
see on Property Guru, it's like everything is shiny and like
Yes.
maybe they Photoshop a little bit. I think it's very helpful to actually
Yeah.
do more viewing.
And of course, I think when you look at the few units we've been to, they all have wallpaper, right? So you also want to see how durable the wallpaper is. Is it something you like, right? Texture. And you don't see on Property Guru, you don't see the mold. If there's any molding, any leaks, you don't see it, right? So that's what we watch out for.
Oh no! Like, do you take note of the molding, the leaks?
No, I think Mark got take note. He got
I'm always
he took note
like
of it.
that one.
Yeah, okay, good.
Guys, take note. Guys, take note. When you all go viewing, make sure to check the toilet, double check, triple check the toilet, see whether got mold at the ceiling,
Yeah.
green color, black color, or got any water leakage or not.
Yeah.
Very good tip.
So earlier we went to visit 5 units already, right? So there are some units that, you know, we really like the view, but then the amenities, okay. Now some we really like the amenities and then the view, like that. So Mark, is there anything that you can advise us what to look out for before we actually like decide closer to what we want to buy in the end?
Depends on the buyer, right? So if the view is something that you prioritize, you will really want to prioritize the view, right? But of course, I will always say don't pay an arm and a leg for a view, right? Because, right? And you want to make sure that there is like no west sun, you know, the afternoon sun is really hot, right? You also want to take note of noise. Sometimes when you have very good view, you actually compromise because there's like a main road or maybe a highway right below, and then you get a lot of noise down there, right? Yeah. Apart from that, there are also other things to consider, like is there a good school nearby? Is there a good layout? How's the transport like? And then you mentioned it just now, the facilities. Do you envision yourself using the facilities and how well they are maintained?
Is having a good school like very important when it comes to like buying and selling?
Primary school, right? For context, it has to be primary school. And usually people look within 1 km of our primary school. Now, if that primary school is like super famous, definitely it helps. But if the primary school is like, you know, good to have, that kind of thing, then maybe not so much.
How about MRT station?
Right, MRT station is really a bonus because at the end of the day, right, there are some places where with MRT station, you get definitely good value. There are some places without MRT station, you still get very good houses. So like one of them we visit just now is a little bit further away from the MRT and further from the LRT, right? But still, there are a lot of people who like it. End of the day, if you're buying to make money out of it, then it is the entry price that matters. Not so much whether MRT is nearby.
How to determine entry price?
Very good question. Very good question. So this one, you look at the past transactions, you look at surrounding, if let's say there are new launches, right? Basically, if you're looking at resale, then compare it against a surrounding resale and then see how much is the price gap, how much is the difference.
After we were done with the viewings, we discussed with Mark over lunch more on our thoughts on each of the units, what we liked, what we didn't like, and even arranged for a second appointment. If you guys learned something from this video and from Mark's sharing, don't forget to like and subscribe to see more of our house hunting journey. Thank you for watching!